Hello everyone, ARG back for some more hockey action here with Franchise Hockey Manager 8, of course. So we are going to continue today our little challenge with extra challenge added on the side with the LA Kings, where we have a 10-year period to win the Stanley Cup, but where we are limiting ourselves to having players on the roster whose first or last initials start with A, R, or G, or a combination of the above. So, we failed in the first season. We got eliminated in the playoffs by the Edmonton Orders. It's kind of like a prophecy, right? I mean, the Kings traded with the Oilers for that guy, Marty McSorley, and some other dude too. And the Oilers won. Like, they eliminated us like it was like cathartic. And it's been pointed out to me by Stoner Matt that I shouldn't have access to all of my draft picks. The Gretzky trade in real life included draft picks, which absolutely makes sense, but in the challenge they're not stripped away from me, so technically I probably shouldn't have Andrew Castles, who I am totally going to have as my second line center as soon as he's ready. So yeah, but anyway, so it is what it is. We still have Mike Gartner, that's hurt for 1 to 2 months, so we're not going to be seeing him in this stream slash video. We still have Mike Krushelinski, FJ's favorite player, and Scott Arneal that are day-to-day, so those should be coming back soon. We are atop of the Campbell Conference, so doing pretty good on that front. We have a pretty good 9-3-1 record, and we are about to play... That's going to be tomorrow against the Boston Bruins, who are not having a very good start. They did win since the last time we saw them, but they are 1-9-2, so it's a terrible start in Boston. They probably cannot afford any better players now that they matched my offer for Ray Bourque. I would have offered even more had I known. I would have totally have taken Ray Bourque on the team with Wayne Gretzky, but anyway. Alright, so let's get going. Enough talking. So let's see what happens today. Well, there's a couple players on waivers. I cannot claim them though. So Bruce Cassidy. So if you follow the NHL nowadays, you're gonna be familiar with Bruce Cassidy's name. He's the Boston Bruins head coach. I think he's a very underrated coach. Every year, you know, for the last like 5 years or so, every year everybody's like, oh yeah, Boston is going to stop being good because, you know, their players are getting older and all of that stuff and everything. And every year the Bruins are competitive, and a lot of that has to do with their head coach, Bruce Cassidy. I think he's a very good coach, very underrated. So, but he's on waivers here because it is 1989 in my universe, so he's not a head coach. He's 24 and he's playing D for Chicago or maybe another team that's gonna pick him up. I would, I think, pick him up if it wasn't for the fact that I cannot. And then Don Biggs is also put on waivers by the Blackhawks, so yeah, those two guys might get claimed. Right, as far as news go, no additional missed time for Winnipeg's Frederick Lawson, so no suspension for him. Oh, Mark Messier is gonna miss time with the Orders, so that's gonna suck for them. He's gonna miss 3 weeks, so not the end of the world, but still. Alright, so that happened against the Devils. Mike Bullard has reached 300 goals in his career. He scored a goal against the Hartford Whalers. And Bruce McNally is happy with my work, not satisfied anymore. He's actually happy with my work as the general manager of the Kings. Alright, so if I remember correctly, we were already on the road. I think it was like a 6-game road trip or something like that. So we are now in Boston, so it looks like the road trip is taking us east. So we are about to play the Bruins, who are still 1-9-2. We are 1-0 against the Bruins. We did beat them 5-2 at home. Alright, so let's get this thing going. And of course, as usual, go Kings, go! Alright, Rolly Melanson in net for us, David Delfino in net for the Bruins. And we won 6-2. Ray Bork was no match. He should be playing for us. Poor Ray. Oh, not a whole lot of offense there. Despite the 6-2 victory, the shots were only 29-19 for us. So that's not a huge spread, especially like in the 80s, start of the 90s like that. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Randy Wood was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Randy Ladouceur was the third star with an assist. Alright, so the Bruins scored twice in the first period. They were actually up 2-0. And then it was all us. Jim Fox scored his 5th on the power play from Luc Robitaille and Randy Wood. Then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play as well from Ray Shepherd. And then Luc Robitaille also scored on the power play with like less than a second left on the board from Gary Galley and Wayne Gretzky. It was 3-2 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Randy Wood scored from Randy Ladouceur and Mike Ridley. Then Gary Galley scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, looks like we have a lethal power play. And then in the third period, Dan Gratton scored from Ron Duguay and Luc Robitaille. 6-2 the final score. There was a fight between Cam Neely and Marty McSorley, and then Gord Klusak and Gerald Diduck face punched each other as well. 6-2 win to start the month, which by the way, I'm probably just going to be doing the month of November today, and then I'm probably gonna take a nap. ARG's a little exhausted, so it's with work and overtime and everything, there's not a whole lot of sleep happening, so I'm gonna take a nap before I make dinner. Alright, Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 12 games. He had a goal and 2 assists in that game. Luc Robitaille extended his assist streak to 8 games in that same game. A goal and 2 assists for him as well. Excellent passing leads to productive night for Brian Leach, who had a goal and 4 assists against the Quebec Nordiques. Oh, Kevin Stevens suffered a torn calf muscle in Pittsburgh. He's going to be out for 3 months. Dan Frawley is suspended in Pittsburgh. He's going to miss 1 game. Alright, and we don't really care about the feelings of those players. It's the 80s. We don't care about feelings. We're going to wait until about 2015 or so before we give a damn about that. Alright. We're going to advance one day. We have a day off, and then we're going to be in Hartford to play against the Whalers. Alright, Doug Gilmore is out for 3 weeks, playing for the Flames. Sprained ankle for him. Scott Arneal is about to be back. Mike Krushelinski is also about to be back. And there are trade rumors about Thomas Sandstrom, which I would totally trade for, but I cannot. So Thomas Sandstrom playing for the New York Rangers. So there are rumors about him, but who knows where he's going to end up. Alright, so we're about to play the Whalers. Hartford has a pretty decent record, 9-4-2. That's pretty good in my book. We're going to take a look at their lineup. It's the first time we're playing them this season. Alright, so there's some injuries in there. So Sylvain Turgeon is hurt. He's not going to play. Probably their best goal scorer. He potted 60 last season. That's pretty good. Marc Bergevin is also hurt. Not going to play. Now, again, if you follow today's NHL, that is the Marc Bergevin. That is the GM for the Montreal Canadiens. So, And then Peter Sidorkowitz is hurt as well, not gonna play this game. Alright, so oops. No! What am I doing? Alright, so the players that will actually play the game, Byron Defoe in net. He's only an Alpha Star, he's 18, he's not developed yet. Mike Liut. On D, they have Dave Babbitt, Sean Cronin, Dunbar, Grant Jennings, Ulf Samuelson, Sylvain Côté, Randy Mahler, Rudy Postchek, Normand Rochefort. Yeah, that's not the greatest D. Couple holes there. Then up front they have John Anderson, Brent Gilchrist, Dave Tippett, Dean Evason, Ray Ferraro, Ron Francis, Wilson, Dahlstrom, Deneen, Gage, Reeds, and Scott Young. Alright, let's see if we can beat the Waiters. Alright, of course, go Kings. I always have a soft spot for Hartford, too, so I'm kind of torn, just a tad. Alright, Glenn Ely in net for us, Mike Liut in net for the Waiters. Oh, we lost 7-4. We allowed 7 goals on the road. That's not good. And we were outshot 30-28. Well, congrats to the Waiters. That's one heck of a game there. Sylvain Côté was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Ulf Samuelson was the second star with 2 goals, 1 knee taken, a headbutt, and probably 70 minutes of in the box. And Gage was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so the Waiters took a 3-0 lead in the first period, and then Wayne Gretzky scored from Luc Robitaille and Gary Galley. It was 3-1 Hartford after 1. There was also a fight between Sean Cronin and Gerald Deduck. And in the second period, the Waiters added 2 more goals. It was 5-1. Didn't look too good for the Kings at that point. So Rudy Postchek and Ken Baumgartner got into a fight. And then in the third period, Gary Galley scored from Ray Shepherd and Wayne Gretzky. Then the Waiters scored, made it 6-2. Then we scored twice. Mike Ridley from Jim Fox and Marty McSorley. Then Ray Shepherd on the power play. That was his 5th of the season. From Wayne Gretzky and Chris Contos, made it 6-4. And then in an empty net, the Waiters scored, made it 7-4. That was the final score today. Well, they sure did us a loss there. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and 2 assists in that game against the Waiters. Luc Robitaille extends his assist streak to 9 games. He did notch 1 assist. Dan Frawley is back from suspension in Pittsburgh, back in the lineup. Steve Thomas extends his assist streak to 8 games, 2 assists against Minnesota. Tim Kerr has 300 goals in his career, 2 goals and an assist against Toronto. Good game for Gary Lehman in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. And Scott Arniel is almost back, but not just quite. Alright, so we're playing again. So 2 games in 2 nights. This time we're going to be in Buffalo to play against the Sabres. Sabres are 5-7-2. And we have not played them so far this season, so let's take a look. Oh, they have no injuries. So that is pretty much the best that they can send us. Tom Barrasso in net with Jacques Cloutier. Then on D, they have Anderson, Housley, Johansson, Ramsey, Butcher, Krupp, York. Then up front they have Anderson, Andreychuk, Lindy Ruff, Sykes, Carpenter, Creighton, Flockhart, Rutu, Tucker, Turgeon, Foligno, Hunter, Priestley, and Dave Taylor. Well, Dave Taylor is already starting to decline, huh? Alright, might not be a bad idea that I traded him there. All right. Go Kings, go. Rolly Melanson back in net for us. Tom Barrasso in net for the Sabres. And we won a tight one, 2-1. hey, you know what? On the road, a W, I will take any of them. On the road, it doesn't have to be pretty. We just need to have one more than the opposition. We were actually outshot 40-29, so I think we can say a big thank you to Rolly Melanson for that one. So Jim Fox was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Dave Taylor was a second star with a goal against his former team, and Rolly Melanson was the 3rd star. Solid 39 save performance. Right, nobody scored in the first, nobody scored in the second. Everything happened in the 3rd period. Wayne Gretzky opened up the scoring from Gord Deneen and Jim Fox, and then Luc Robitaille from Jim Fox and Richie Dunn. It was 2-0 at that point. Then the Sabres did score. It was 2-1. They just couldn't tie the game. And there were 2 fights in the 3rd period. Mike Foligno and Marty McSorley, and then Garth Butcher and Gord Deneen. And we have another injury because, you know, why not? This time it would be Bob Kudelski who's hurt. Alright, let's see for how long and what. Oh, 5 days. Pff, that's nothing. Alright, so Gilbert Delorme is available on waivers. I'm not going to pick him up. I could, but he's only an alpha star defenseman. Oh, looks like Arneal is back. Alright, so one guy is hurt, another one comes back. Alright, so Kudelski will miss 5 days with a bruised leg. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 14 games. He had a goal in that game that we just played. Luc Robitaille's assist streak ended at 9 games. He did score a goal, though, so his point streak continues. Night to remember for Pat Ellenuk with the Jets. He had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks. Steve Thomas' assist streak ended at 8 games. In that game, he was held scoreless. Scott Arneal is completely recovered. Mike Krushelinski is following very soon. Alright, so I think we're going to go ahead and make some changes. I think I'm going to send Bro down. Alright, and then we're going to get Scott Arneal on the team. Where are you? You're here. Oh, I have to wait 2 more days. That's fine, I'm not playing for the next 2 days, so we're good. I just need to not forget. Right, Jim Playfair has been put on waivers by the Blackhawks, and then Dale Dunbar as well. Suspension over for Yari Curry, back in the lineup with the Orders. Oh, Brian Leach is hurt with the Rangers. It's only a day-to-day injury, though, with groin soreness. John Ogrodnik extends his goal streak to 5 games. In that same game, he did score a goal against the Red Wings. Borje Salming has a strong game. He had 5 assists against Minnesota. Mike Krushelinski almost back. Right, 1 more day off, and then we are going to be hosting the Calgary Flames. Oh, there's Darren Boyko and Dan Daou that are on waivers. I will not look at them. Memorable night for Pat LaFontaine, who had 4 goals and an assist against the Washington Capitals. Mike Krushelinski is fully recovered. All right, it's time to come back here. All right, Scott Arneal, come back in the lineup. Mike Krushelinski, come back in the lineup. And I need to send back 1 guy, and it's going to be Ken Gernander, my draft pick. Alright, and now we just need for Mike Gartner to come back so that we can send Randy Busick down. And then we're gonna have our full team. Alright, so Playing the Flames. Flames are 8-6-3. We're back at home, by the way. Flames are third in the conference. Actually, they're the team trading us in our division. They're 4 points behind, and we have a game on, so that's good. We are 1-0 against the Flames this season. Let's make it 2-0. Mike Vernon is going to be in net for the Flames. We are going to go with Rolly Melanson. Oh, we got spanked at home 6-1 against the Flames. What's going on? We're not generating enough offense. That's what's going on. We got outshot 32-20. Joel Otto was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Akan Lube was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Al McInnes was the third star with 2 assists. We had a full sellout crowd in Inglewood. Hey FJ, how's Norway treating you? The Flames opened up the scoring. They scored twice into the first period, and then Wayne Gretzky scored from Jim Fox and Luke Robitaille. It was 2-1 for the Flames, and then the Flames scored again. It was 3-1 Calgary after 1. We had a fight between Marty McSorley and Gary Roberts. Then nobody scored in the second period, and then the Flames just scored 3 goals in the third period, like we weren't even there. Made it 6-1, and that was kind of an embarrassing loss. And we have another injury, actually more than one. Ken Baumgartner is hurt, but he's going to be able to play. Ray Shepherd is not going to get as lucky too. Oh yeah, it's cold in Norway now. I'm guessing it's kind of like Canada. Is there snow a little bit? Like, I called my mom 2 days ago and it was snowing in Canada a little bit in my hometown. Oh dear God. Oh, alright, Ray Shepherd will be out of action for roughly 4 months after suffering a broken thigh. So my top 2 right wingers are out long term now. It is time to panic. No, wait, to find a solution. I prefer to panic. Ken Baumgartner improves at right defense. Still, we're still a far cry from what the Sens had to endure so far this year with all of the COVID protocols. Oh, that's not fun. I hate icy roads, man. I'll take snow all day, every day before icy roads. Right, Ken Baumgartner improves at right defense. I'm not sure why he played there, but okay. Wayne Gretzky extends his goal streak to 5 games with the goal that he scored against the Flames, and that was 15 straight games with a point for him. Alright, so we're going to say goodbye to Ray Shepherd for 3 to 4 months. So we're going to recall one of those awesome Alf-Star players that I have access to. So I guess we're going to get that Gernander guy back up. He was just sent down. Alright, and now we have... Oh, we have 3 days off before we face off against the Montreal Canadiens. Hopefully by then Bob Kudelski can play. There's an opportunity for him on the top 2 lines. Now that, you know, now that death has been rampaging through my team. John Ogrodnik extends his goal streak to 6 games. He did score a goal against the Montreal Canadiens. Alright, cool. Bob Kudelski is fully recovered, so that's good. Day-to-day injury puts Ranford in the press box in Edmonton. He is day-to-day with a jammed finger. I guess that could be problematic if you're a goaltender. Bob Kudelski says, at the ready. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Don't you live with your parents still, or did you move out? Or are your parents charging you rent? Ah. Are you living by yourself, or do you have roommates? Oh, I guess I need to take care of Ken Baumgartner as well. I guess I forgot with all of that. Aha, not an upper class snob yet, I see. Do you, did you know your roommates before moving in with them, or is it like one of those situations where you're renting a room somewhere and you're like stuck with some weird people? Okay, well, they might still be weird if you know them, but it's good to know that you know them at least. Alright, bad news for the Sabres. Mike Ramsey is hurt. He's gonna miss 3 months. And the Quebec Nordiques are looking to trade Anton Stastny. Okay, well, best friends is pretty good. Although sometimes you think you're best friends with somebody and then you move in with them and then you realize that you just cannot stand their face anymore. But if everything is going good, that's pretty good. Alright. I need to take care of... Oh, Baumgartner can play. Well, I am not sending him down then. So isn't your rent due on the 1st, or is it due on the 15th? Seems to be late Wait. That doesn't make much sense, but... Ah, I see. Alright, it makes more sense. Alright, we are hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal are 8-7-5. We have not played Montreal so far this season, so we're taking a look at their team here. And no injuries. In net, they have the champion at selling jerseys, Brian Hayward, and then Patrick Roy, Mike Laylor, Sylvain Lefebvre, Craig Ludwig, Jurki Lume, Larry Robinson, Peter Svoboda, Chris Chelios, and Eric Desjardins on D. That should be a decent D. And then up front they have Shane Corson, Mike Donnelly, Mike McPhee, Marcus Nesson, Guy Carbonneau, Brian Scruden, Bobby Smith, Gilles Thibodeau, Tukey, Keane, Lemieux, Yaremchuk, and Stéphane Richer. Alright, so we have a lot of injuries. So our injury-ridden team is going to host Montreal. That sure is going to be a challenge for a while. Yeah, Brian Hayward sells jerseys because he's so elite indeed. Alright. Patrick Roy in net for Montreal. Glenn Healy in net for the Kings. We won 5-3, alright. Bending but not breaking. Oh, you just bought it after all? Did you have time to play it, or is it still installing in the background? Alright, oh, we outshot the Habs 36-19 in that game. My immense pressure, yeah. Wait, you mean that those guys that I sent after you were able to notice them? You are really good. I only send the best. Alright, so Jeff Smith was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Guy Carbonneau was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Bob Kudelski was the third star with 2 assists. Full out crowd yet again in Inglewood. Montreal actually scored first in that one in the first period. Then we scored 3 goals. Ron Duguay scored from Jeff Smith and Mike Ridley. Then Gary Galley from Wayne Gretzky and Jim Fox. Luc Robitaille from Gerald Deduck and Bob Kudelski. 3-1 Kings after one. There were quite a few fights in the first period. Gord Doneen fought Craig Ludwig, and then Marty McSorley fought Brian Screwlin. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoy yourself with the game. All right. Then in the second period, Mike Ridley scored. That was his 5th of the season from Mike Krushelinski and Bob Kudelski. And then Montreal scored. It was 4-2 Kings after 2. 2 more fights in the second period. Gerald Deduck and Chris Chelios, and then Gord Doneen and Craig Ludwig. So with a 4-2 lead, we went into the third period. Montreal, late in the period, made it 4-3, but then Luc Robitaille scored it an empty net from Jeff Smith and Randy Wood, 5-3 the final score. And another fight, Gerald Deduck and Shane Corson. Oh, that's what you're gonna do? Is that an historical challenge, or are you just, or is it just what you're trying to do, just like that? Marty McSorley is now hurt. Alright. Keep them coming. I welcome the challenge. It's nothing compared to the Sens in real life, or even the Habs at this point. Alright, Ron Duguay converts to right wing. So how many years are you going to have to try to win the cup with Kansas City? Oh dear God. 2 years, okay. Wayne Gretzky extended his point streak to 16 games with an assist in this game against Montreal, and Luc Robitaille extended his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals in that performance. So McSorley is day to day. He just cannot play right now. That's okay. Alright, so we have 3 more days off, and then we're going to be playing in Calgary against the Flames. Tom Fergus has a strong game for Toronto. He had a hat-trick against the Detroit Red Wings. And memorable night for Adam Oates in that same game. He had a hat-trick as well. Steve Thomas is suspended with the Blackhawks. He's going to miss 5 games. Alright, so we are in Calgary to play the Flames again. So that's going to be the second time this month that we play them. And we lost 6-1 last time that we played them, so that wasn't pretty. So I'm looking forward to trying to do better in that one. Now, the Flames at this moment are 10-7-3, which is good for 3rd in the conference. Still, we are 1-1 against the Flames so far this season. Glenn Ely and Mike Vernon are going to be in net. Oh, we won 5-2, so that looks a lot better like that. Although we were outshot 30-28. I don't think so. I think it's going to be the Habs. I'm just kidding with you. I mean, it's possible. I mean, they are tanking. That nobody is even doubting that that's what they're doing. So, yeah, Arizona is just trying to tank. They're not even trying to win games. It's clear as day. So, who knows? I think it sucks for the coach. The coach that they just hired is French Canadian. That's his first gig in the NHL, and he's put in a situation where he cannot win. But anyway, hey, at this rate, the Sens might get Shane Wright. All right, so we outshot Calgary. We were outshot by Calgary 30-28. Wayne Gretzky, oh dear God, yeah, Wayne Gretzky was the first star of this game. He had 5 goals, which the Kings had 5 goals, so you do the math. 5 equals 5. Luc Robitaille was the second star of the game. He had 2 assists, and Randy Ladouceur was the third star with 2 assists as well. Wayne Gretzky opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 20th of the season from Luc Robitaille and Jim Fox. Then the Flames tied the game, and then Gretzky scored again on the power play from Mike Ridley and Jim Fox. 2-1 Kings after 1. There was a fight between Dana Merzen and Gerald Deduck. And then Joel Otto and Gordon Dean fought, and then Mark Hunter and Randy Ladouceur fought. Lots of fighting. In the second period, the Flames tied the game. It was tied at 2 at that point, and then in the third period, Wayne Gretzky completed his hat trick from Luc Robitaille and Gerald Deduck. Then he scored again from Randy Ladouceur and Jim Fox, and then he was like, what the heck, I'm gonna score in an empty net as well, from Gordon Dean and Randy Ladouceur. 5-2 the final score, and another fight between Joel Otto and Gerald Deduck. Alright. Right, strong game for Wayne Gretzky. 5-goal game, as we saw. That was 17 straight games with a point for him. Luc Robitaille extended his point streak to 13 games. Paul McLean has racked up 600 points in his career with 3 assists against the Hartford Whalers. Yeah, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Man, Sanderson is so good so far this year in college. He's over a point per game, and he's a defenseman, and he looks so good. I cannot wait to see him. I'm very excited. And Pele Eklund in Philadelphia is not suspended, was looked at, not suspended by the league. Alright, and now we're going to be playing in Edmonton against the Orders. So that was 2 games in 2 nights. Orders are 9-7-3. They are 4th in the conference. We are 1-1 against the Orders. Come on, Gretzky, you have another 5-goal game in you. I can feel it. Rolly Melanson in net for us. Andy Moog in net for the Orders. And we won 6-2. That wasn't a 5-goal game by Gretzky. Sanderson gives me... what kind of vibes? Honestly, I don't want to sound cocky, and I usually try to not like overhype players. I hate when people do that, but with the way that he's playing and everything, it kind of reminds me of like Brian Leach. But, you know. Alright, so we won 6-2. We outshot the Oilers 38-23. Jeff Smith was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Wayne Gretzky was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Chris Kontos was the third star with a goal and an assist. Jeff Smith opened up the scoring in the first from Mike Krushelensky and Bob Kudelski. Then the Oilers tied the game. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Mike Ridley scored unassisted. It was 2-1 for the Kings, and then the Oilers tied again, but then Chris Kontos scored from Randy Busick and Scott Arneal. It was 3-2 Kings after 2. And then we added 3 goals in the third period. Jim Fox from Wayne Gretzky and Gordon Dean. Then Wayne Gretzky short-handed. That was his 25th from Jeff Smith and Luc Robitaille. And then Gretzky on the power play from Chris Kontos and Jim Fox. 6-2 the final score. That's funny that you say that, because it is literally the entire, what you're describing there is that literally the entirety of the French-based fan base for the Montreal Canadiens. Man, you should have seen that guy like that one time on like the French forums that was like, oh, Montreal is gonna have Suzuki, Caulfield, Ilonen, Ikonen, all first line players, and Norlinder is gonna be like a superstar, and I'm like, dude, you need to calm down. Like, first of all, like, not all prospects like develop according to plan, and then those who make it to be in a position to be a superstar are even rarer, so the likelihood that you have 7 of them on your team is extremely low. It's ridiculously low. All right. Alright, Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 18 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Orders. Luc Robitaille extends his point streak to 14 games. Pretty good for him as well. Excellent passing leads to productive night for Mike McPhee with the Montreal Canadiens, 4 assists against the Jets. Brian Bellows has a strong game for Minnesota. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Devils. Memorable game for Dino Ciccarelli, 4 assists against the Devils as well. And Marty McSorley is feeling better, so he can go back and face punch people. Right, we're heading back home, where we will be facing the Washington Capitals. Oh, lots of players on waivers. Right, so Bill O'Dwyer, Lou Crawford, Ken Hammond, and Jay Metter, and I cannot claim any of them. Memorable game for Dave Andreychuk with the Buffalo Sabres, 3 goals and 2 assists against the Flames. Peter Zezel is hurt with the Flyers. He's going to miss 4 months with a ruptured foot tendon. Ow. Yeah, when Briere signed with Montreal, he was pretty much at the end of his career, which was sad for the Habs and their fans. He didn't have that much gas left in the tank. He still had a few good moments, but yeah. Bad news for New Jersey. Tom Curvers is injured. He's going to miss 5 months as a result of a ruptured Achilles tendon. Yikes. Suspension for Brian Mullen with the Rangers. He's going to miss 2 games. Marty McSorley not far from returning. Ian Duncan may incur fine for childish behavior. Alright, so he's been joking around in the locker room. And Keith Crowder might be traded by Boston. Daniel Briere played on a pretty decent Sabres team. I liked the Sabres back then with Ryan Miller and net, Chris Drury, JP Dumont, Briere, Teppo Numminen that was like 73 years old on D. Alright, we are about to play the Caps. It's a little tough for Washington this season. They are 5-11-3, and it's our first game against the Capitals this season, so we're going to take a look at that. Oh, they have some injuries. Alright, so Banked Aki Gustafsson. That's my best Swedish accent and personation. Anyway. Yes, Jason Pominville as well. That's true. You are correct. Back when he was good before he moved, he went to play for Minnesota. And then Dave Christian is hurt and Grant Ledyard is hurt. Wow. So some guy whose first name I have a really hard time pronouncing. Then Dave Christian and Grant Ledyard are all hurt. And then they have Richard Crom, who's hurt and not gonna play. And then they have Jeff Courtnall and David Shaw, who are hurt but might play. They probably will. They don't have a whole lot of spares at this point. Alright, so in net they have Chad Erickson and Clint Malarchuk, Dykstra, Langway, Stevens, Taglianizzi, Hatcher, Murphy, Shaw, and D. And then up front they have Courtnall, Franceschetti, Dale Hunter, or that's Dave Hunter, sorry. Inachak, Crom, Miller, Sundstrom, Dale Hunter, Bernie Nichols, Buckberger, Leach, and Miller. How is Bernie Nichols doing in Washington after I traded him? Oh, pretty good. 25 points in 19 games. Not bad, not bad. It's not like I fleeced them. Alright, so I hope we can beat the Caps. They're going to go with Clint Malarchuk in net, Roddy Melanson in net for us. And we lost to the Washington Capitals, the only team that's probably as hurt as we are right now. And they managed to win that. We outshot them 25-21. Dale Hunter was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Wayne Gretzky, the second star with 2 assists. And Steve Leach, the third star with 2 assists as well. Another sellout crowd in Inglewood, but we came up short. Gordonine opened up the scoring in the first from Wayne Gretzky and Randy Ladouceur. It was 1-0 Kings after 1. Then Washington scored in the second period, and then Gary Galley scored his 10th from Wayne Gretzky and Mike Krushelnyski. And then Washington tied the game again. It was tied at 2 after 2. There was some fighting, of course. Gordonine and Kelly Buckberger went at it. And then in the third period, the Caps ran away with the victory with 2 goals. And we had another fight, Gerald Deduck and Lou Franceschetti. And that was a 4-2 loss for the Kings. And Scott Arniel is hurt. However, he can play with his injury, and he will. Yeah, Scott Stevens did play for the Caps. Yeah, and Gretzky doesn't get a whole lot of his. Well, okay, he gets a whole lot of assists. What I'm trying to say is that he's getting more goals than assists, and that's which, you know, Wayne Gretzky would always score goals, but he always had more assists. So yeah, it's throwing me off a little bit. Alright, so Brad Berry and Daryl Stanley are on the waivers. I am not picking them up. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 19 games with his 2 assists. Luc Robitaille's point streak ended at 14 games. He was held scoreless against the Caps. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Ron Francis. He had 4 assists against the Rangers. And Marty McSorley is completely recovered. Scott Stevens did not play for the Blues, I don't think. If you did, that was before Washington, and I don't think so. I can look it up real quick. Oh, he did. You are correct. He did for 1 season. That is true. You were correct. Scott Stevens did play 1 season in St. Louis. I did not know that. That's like right around the time where I started, like, that's maybe 2 years into when I started to watch hockey, and I wasn't really paying attention to that kind of stuff. So I would only pay attention to the Quebec Nordiques. Took me a while to become very well versed. So well played. Well played, sir. Well played. Alright, so we have 3 days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. Jeff Bukaboom got suspended with the Oilers. He's going to miss 4 games. And Ken Baumgartner is about to come back with us. Couple more days off. Suspension over for Brian Mullen in the Big Apple, back in the lineup over there. Alright, Ken Baumgartner is completely recovered. Alright, that's good. Bukaboom. Yeah, that's a name that's always make me laugh a little. Alright, so we have, what, 4 games left in November. We are hosting the Chicago Blackhawks now. They are 11-12-1. We are 1-0 against Chicago this season. Chicago are 4th in the conference. Wow, with a losing record, our conference is not all that strong right now. Just makes it easier for me to win it all. Alright, Vincent Riendo in net for the Blackhawks. Glenn Healy in net for us. Go Kings, go! Oh, a 1-1 tie at home. I don't like that. Against a team with a losing record, too. We outshot them 40-32. Riendo was really strong in that game, apparently. Alright, Bob Kudelski opened up the... Bob Kudelski was the first star. He had an assist. Denis Savard was the second star with a goal, and Gerald Deduck was the third star with a goal. Full crowd yet again in LA. Chicago opened up the scoring in the first, and then we tied the game. Gerald Deduck scored his first from Bob Kudelski and Mike Ridley. Tied at 1. That means that Wayne Gretzky's point streak is ended, or has ended. There was a fight in the second period between Marty McSorley and Dave Manson. Oof, that's 2 tough customers right there. Marty McSorley and Dave Manson getting in a fight, yeah. Gerald Deduck with Dwayne Sutter as well. And then no fights in the third. Alright, so... yeah, Wayne Gretzky's point streak ended at 19 games. No point in that tie. Alright, 2 more days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Really, Bukaboom did that for real? That's funny. Oh, I did not know that. Twitter, sure. Sorry, not Twitter, but well, Twitter is Instagram. All of those apps are kind of interesting and not at the same time. Oh dear God, are you seeing what I'm seeing, man? I know, right? Alright, so for people that are gonna be watching that, you know, on YouTube, and that they're, you know, doing something other than just looking at my stupid face, the Oilers have put Andy Moog on waivers, and I can claim him. That's because the Oilers have Grant Fior, Bill Ranford, and Andy Moog, and truth be told, if any of those 3 that they would have tried to pass through waivers, I could have put a claim on, because they all have the right initials. So I am totally claiming Andy Moog. Now, I don't know if another team's gonna get him before I do, but my claim is there. Yeah, I'm probably not getting him. I'm probably way at the bottom of the list for the waivers. Andy Moog placed on waivers by the Orders. Wow, that's crazy. They traded for him last season. They traded Jimmy Carson to Boston for him. They never learn. Alright, so people got in trouble. Ian Duncan and Robert Nordmark are pranksters, because they have to pass him through waivers. Bill Ranford got injured at the start of my stream, so they probably put him on injured reserve, and now he's available to come back, and they have to make room for him. They could have kept 3 goaltenders, I guess, but, you know, they didn't. So, yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Man, I hope I get Andy Moog. Alright. One more day to sim before we host the Vancouver Canucks. Oh dear God, Rolly Melanson is hurt. What? I hurt his feelings because I put a claim on Andy Moog. Is that what's going on? He has a broken nose. Day to day, I have to put him on the injured reserve because I need a capable goaltender. I guess I'm recalling Mark Fitzpatrick. And it might not be for long if I can get my hands on Andy Moog. Andy Moog. Wow, that'd be awesome. Come on. Give me something. Good night for John McLean with the Devils. He had 3 goals. Hat-trick against Minnesota. No, Andy Moog has been claimed by the Washington Capitals. That's not fair. I wanted Andy Moog. I'm gonna pout. Right, there are trade speculations surrounding Brian Mullen of the Rangers. Man, I got excited for a second. I thought I was getting Andy Moog. I didn't really think I was getting him. I was hoping. Yeah, but you know, they traded to get him back last season after just a year and a half in Boston. Oh well. Alright, Vancouver is in town. They are 8-13-1. Definitely a better start for them than last season where they were just putrid. And they're actually not last in the conference. They are 9th. We are 1-0 against Vancouver. So Rolly Melanson has a broken nose, so he's not going to be playing. I recalled Mark Fitzpatrick. I was hoping for Andy Moog. Alright. Frank Pietrangelo is in net for Vancouver. We are going to go with Glenn Ely. And we won 5-2. We outshot Vancouver at 36-33. Ken Baumgartner is the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Jim Fox was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Randy Ladouceur was the third star with an assist. Another sellout crowd in Inglewood. People... There's no internet, so some people might have thought that Andy Moog was going to play for the Kings. Alright, so nobody scored in the first period. And in the second, Mike Ridley opened up the scoring. That was a non-assisted goal. Then Chris Conto scored his 5th from Richie Dunn and Ken Baumgartner. Then Dan Gratton scored from Ron Duguay and Randy Wood. It was 3-0 at that point. Then the Canucks scored, made it 3-1. After 2, there was a fight between Gord Deneen and Randy Boyd. Then in the third period, the Canucks made it 3-2, but we scored 2 more goals. Jim Fox from Luc Robitaille and Randy Ladouceur, and Ken Baumgartner scored in an empty net from Jim Fox and Chris Contos. 5-2, the final score, and I realized that Wayne Gretzky had 0 points in this particular game. There was a fight between Marty McSorley and Mike Hartman, and then Gerald Deduck and Doug Lidster fought as well in the third period. Ken Baumgartner improves at right wing. Alright, that's good, that's good. Being versatile is not a bad thing. Yeah, I think so too. I like the Canucks logo and colors better back in those days. Alright, a big game for Tim Kerr. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Hartford. Good game for Ray Bourque. He had 4 assists against the Montreal Canadiens. Doug Crossman lights the lamp in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. And Brett Hall has a memorable game. He had 4 goals against the Calgary Flames. All right, so we are now in Vancouver. So we had a home and home against the Canucks. So we are going to play game 2, and they are in 2 nights as well. So Vancouver is now 8-14-1, and yeah, that loss against us made them drop to dead last in the conference. We are obviously 2-0 against them. We're going to go with Mark Fitzpatrick in net for that one. Kirk McLean is going to be in net for the Canucks. And we won 5-3. 5-3 victory for the Kings. We were outshot 32-30 in that one, but we still won. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Petri Skriko, sorry, was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Luc Robitaille was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Vancouver opened up the scoring in the first period, and then we scored 3 times in the second. Wayne Gretzky from Jim Fox and Luc Robitaille, and then Wayne Gretzky again from Richie Dunn and Jim Fox, and then Gary Galley scored on the power play from Mike Ridley and Chris Kontos. It was 3-1 for the Kings after 2. There was a fight between Stam Schmil and Ken Baumgartner. Then in the third period, the Canucks came back, tied the game at 3, but then Luc Robitaille scored shortly after from Ron Duguay and Gary Galley, and Wayne Gretzky scored short-handed from Richie Dunn and Luc Robitaille. 5-3 for the Kings. That is the final score. There was no stopping Wayne Gretzky. He had a hat-trick, as we saw. That was beautiful. Steve Thomas is back in the lineup for the Blackhawks. A night to remember for Bruce Bell in Quebec City. He had, wow, 3 goals and 2 assists. Wow. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Joe Sakic in that same game. He had 4 assists. And Scott Arniel is almost not hurt anymore. Right, and we have 3 more days off, and then we're going to be playing at home against the Oilers again, and that's going to be our last game of the month. Mark Messier has a good game. Hat-trick against the Red Wings. Suspension over for Jeff Buchaboon. And Scott Arniel is completely recovered from his injury for us. Another day off. Strong night for Dave Andreychuk. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Whalers. And Brettel extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Bruins. Yes, Sakic is still on the Nordiques. My favorite Nordique was Joe Sakic. Alright, Montreal's Mike Donnelly got suspended. He's gonna miss 2 games. Yeah, I didn't have to think about it too much. Joe Sakic was my favorite Nordique. And yeah, he was. He was just really good, calm. So yeah, it wasn't a close call for me. Roddy Melanson might be back soon. Alright, so November 30th, we are hosting the Edmonton Orders. We are 2-1 against them this season. They are 10-13-3. They slipped all the way down to 7th in the conference. Let's beat them again. Because they didn't let me get Andy Moog. Although it's not their fault. Bill Ranford is going to be in net for the Oilers. Hey Kim, no, I did not win the cup yet. If I did, I would be doing something else. I don't know what yet. But, no, I actually liked Ron Tugnut a lot better when he played for the Sens, because he did play for the Sens. Well, actually, it would be probably faster to name the teams that Ron Tugnut didn't play for. But yeah, I liked Ron Tugnut better with the Depends. It depends when the last time you were here. I don't think so. I failed at signing Ray Bork. So I really didn't sign anybody or traded for much of anybody yet. I almost got Andy Moog on waivers. That would have been great. Alright, so Edmonton Orders in town, Ranford in net, Fitzpatrick in net for me. Oh, we lost the last game of the month. Guillebert did not play for the Sens. That one I am 100% certain. Guillebert played for St. Louis and Anaheim that I remember. He might have played for somebody else, but I'm pretty sure he didn't play for the Sens. If he did, it was maybe one game or something, but pretty sure he didn't. Alright, we were outshot by the Kings 36-27. Dang. Doug Smith was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Gerald Deduck was the second star with a goal. And Charlie Huddy was the third star with an assist. Full crowd here in Inglewood. Yet again, first period didn't have a goal. It did have some face punching between Randy Ladouceur and Jeff Bucheboom. Then in the second period, the Oilers opened up the scoring. And it was 1-0 Edmonton after 2. There was another fight between Ken Baumgartner and Basil McRae. Then in the third period, the Oilers scored again, made it 2-0. Then Gerald Deduck scored from Chris Kontos and Mike Krushelinski. It was 2-1, but we only had 3:12 left to go, and we couldn't tie the game. So we end the month on a sad note. Cool. Yeah, I'm usually pretty well versed with the Sens history, so well, not from the Sens from the 1906 seasons or anything like that, but since they came back in the league, when I was alive. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Dang, that would make me what, 120 something years? Like, I could be, if I was 120 something years old, I mean, with my skin, I could sell like products and be like, oh my god, I put that stuff in my face. Alright. So, memorable game for Dave Poulin. Dave Poulin is now an analyst on TSN, but he's still playing for the Flyers in my universe, so 4 assists for him against Pittsburgh. Brettel extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Hartford Whalers. Gretzky, Robitaille, Gartner, Ely, and McSorley sold the most jerseys here in the month of November. Wayne Gretzky sold the 10 most jerseys in the entire month of November. And of course, Mike Liut sold the most. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could understand any of the other names, like Gary Suter, okay, Chris Chelios, sure, Paul Coffey, absolutely, Patrick Roy, I'm on board, De La Warchuk, for sure, Mario Lemieux, oh yeah, God, yes, Marc Messier, of course, Denis Savard, great player, Wayne Gretzky, okay, I could see all of those other guys, but Mike Liut? Yeah, he was a goaltender that he had an okay career, but there was kind of a running joke about him, about his kind of lack of overall talent. All right. Oh, Tom Barrasso got hurt in practice. Could be out for 7 weeks. Wow, that sucks for the Sabres. I believe you are correct. It's just that at the time that I was starting to watch hockey, it was more towards the end of his career and he wasn't very good anymore, so people were kind of making jokes. It's kind of foggy, to be honest. I don't quite remember. So 7 weeks without Barrasso in net for the Sabres, and the players of the month were David Volek, of all people, and John Van Beesbrook. Wow. Alright, so time to look at the standings, and I know you just joined, Kim, but I have to make dinner here soon. Those steaks are not gonna cook themselves. If they did, that'd be pretty awesome. No, he's no André Racicot. No, he's not. Alright, let's take a look at where we are in the standings. So, of course, we are first in our conference. We have a pretty decent lead over the Flames. The Flames are 7 points behind us, and they have played 3 more games. So, I mean, it's not a done deal. It's still early in the season, but we are definitely in a good position here. Oh, God, look at that Islanders team. And Hartford. Wow, the Islanders and Hartford are both better than us. The hell's going on here? Who's doing drugs to enhance performance? I mean, it's not a bad team. And of course, I traded Steve Duchesne to them, and now he's getting better. That's the trade that I lost, but I was gonna lose Steve Duchesne anyway, so I made sure I was getting something from. Alright, let's take a look at our stats. I don't want to look at the Islanders' stats. I don't like it when I'm not the best. That's not true. I don't really care that badly. Alright, let's take a look here. So Wayne Gretzky, 50 points in 25 games, a nice little 2-point per game pace. Then Robitaille, 28 and 22, Gary Galley, 24 and 25. So we only have, of course it doesn't help that Mike Gartner and Ray Shepherd are both hurt. But right now we only have 2 players that are a point per game pace, which in 89-90, that's not that great, to be honest. Yeah, you just got the game. Go play. Go have fun. Alright. Let's take a look in the league. I'm sure that Gretzky is still first for the goals with 29. Oh, yeah. Second is Brett Hall with 21. Alright, so 8-goal lead for Gretzky after 2 months in the NHL. Almost a 30-goal season already for Gretzky. Most players in the NHL nowadays would kill for a 30-goal season. Paul Coffey, 30 assists. He's leading the league in that regard. Gretzky is 11th with 21. That's not too bad. And Gretzky, first scorer of the league right now, 50 points. And Francis and Nieuwendyk are second with 42 each. Let's take a look at the goaltenders. All right. People didn't do that many fantasy drafts. I got into those like really late in my life, but I think I remember people said, like, I think that you couldn't pick Gretzky or Lemieux in certain ones, or there needed to be like there were like restrictions to get either Gretzky or Lemieux into your fantasy team. It's kind of what I seem to remember, but again, I didn't participate in those until really late in my life. and then I would do one for like the playoffs, and for some reason I had like that obsession with Buffalo making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, so I would always put them all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. That was before the Sens were like, you know, good enough to make it there, and yeah, they didn't quite work that way. Yep, so that was that's how I remember it anyway. We don't have a whole lot of our guys there, although both of my goaltenders are above 900, and again in 89-90, that's a very good showing there, so hopefully they can rise a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save the game so that it doesn't happen like with the out of the park when I lost power for 2.2 seconds and I lost everything. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. I'm gonna go and make dinner. I'm hungry. So as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in, mostly FJ and Kim. Thank you for stopping by. Always welcome over here. And well, until I roll this game again, I'll see you everybody next time. How about that? Thank you.